My classroom, we produce a show for Fox Sports in front of a live studio audience.
Welcome to Studio D in the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication on the campus of the University of Oklahoma. This is Sooner Sports Pad.
When you looked at the old Sooner Sports Pad, the graphics were just okay graphics, the production was okay production. And now with SoonerVision, we have HD cameras, we have professional graphics, we have sponsors.
Special thanks to our television cornerstone partners.
This semester we're kind of doing like a Sports Nation type show where there's a lot of arguing back and forth, there's a lot of jokes.
I really do. You're never happy with it, ever. You're still not happy with it, I know
No, I'm not. This is the first time I've ever done like a non-scripted show. And it's completely different than anything I've ever tried to direct before. D-block, you'll have the one shot of a lot. I'll have little individual meetings to let each camera person know what shots they're getting, if there's anything new that's going to be happening in the show this week.
It's amazing that we put on a show like this. Really, it's amazing that any show ever gets made because there's so much that is going on, so much that can go wrong, and yet somehow it's really just the communication between everybody. It helps when Whitney tells you 10 seconds left in the interview or move on to this, okay, this is coming up next, because if not, we'd be lost and we'd probably just be out there doing circles. So.
All right. Soccer headed down to San Antonio on Wednesday to take on the...
Well, right before the show, it's basically me trying to memorize as many stats as I possibly can.
You have to know what you're talking about. You can't just read off a teleprompter. You really have to be familiar with everything to convince people you know what you're talking about. My favorite part of the show is having competitions between the two hosts.
Now time for Sooner Sports Pad Face Up.
We'll say who we think is going to win, who we think the best player of the week is going to be.
We get the people in there cheering and booing, and it's really funny to hear, which one they like better in the face-off.
It's a little nerve-wracking sometimes when you're talking and then they start screaming.
When it comes to volleyball, they're not the Big Ten with Penn State and Nebraska. And
you have to try to remember where your talking points are. And
one of them will, just be like, oh man, I can't believe that they didn't like that because that was such a good idea for me to say.
I've gotten to the point now where when they start screaming, I just play with it because then you just you start messing with the audience a little bit and it makes for a better show.
And let me say, Mike Stoops, I see you and I see your defense.
Junior wide receiver and Sooner fan favorite, Kenny Stills is here in Studio D.
Our deal now with SoonerVision and Fox Sports really allows us to get these big-time guests.
Last week we had Kenny Stills come in and they actually had him play Rock'em Sock'em Robots with Matthew Fresquez.
Go!
Kenny wins!
Yeah, Kenny really he tore Matt apart. It wasn't even close.
Okay, everybody, we're going to start from the top of the show.
So audience, get excited.
This is a professional show. We have a ton of students working on it, but when you watch, you can't tell. And I think that's something, that speaks a lot for Gaylord. I think that speaks a lot for SoonerVision, for the amount of production that they put into it.
Knowing that your show's actually, going to be on, a regional television network, it's kind of scary. And we just looked at each other after the show and we were like, that was awesome. I just directed a show on Fox Sports. I did that.
2, 1, fade it out.